Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Scott from the Common Pleb Militia. It's been a very long time since I've posted anything on this. I'm going to tell you straight up, this is not premium audio quality. I'm literally down camping on a back road for the evening, in the snow, just chilling, enjoying life, enjoying nature, um, living life, man. And I wanted to put this video together because the initial intention of this Common Pleb Militia is one of my second YouTube channels, for more long format, to just give my thoughts on the world, on making money, on life. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've got everything figured out. I still got a lot of years ahead of me. But if I can help anybody else out in the interim on my mistakes, my lessons, my thought process, things I've learned to make money, then I'm happy to share that. So the purpose for this video, and the reason that I was randomly decided to kind of jump back into this, was I'll give you some backstory on my situation. And maybe you can relate to it, maybe you can't. But I'm hoping that you can at least, even if there's not a whole lot of elements that you can relate from with this, hopefully you can take nuggets away from it that benefit you, that help you think more clearly or more positively, or create a path more clearly, or make more money, or avoid mistakes that I've made, right? Because, and here's the thing, a lot of people are so quick to judge and tell people that, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. Like, you look at all the people that go through divorces and lose their jobs or have addictions with substances. It's like, we all live and we all learn, and we all have our reasons. Some people take reasons to the end of victimhood mentality, and then, and then there's the gray area in between. But I'm going to tell you what happened in my situation, where I'm going, what my thought process is, because I look at life like a chess game, and you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to have times that you're cornered, you're going to have times that you're winning. So take those wins with grace and realize they're temporary. And I would say probably my best advice to anybody would be to find a medium, a middle ground between being, if you want to be successful financially, physically, spiritually, mentally, and you want to have good relationships, you want to make good money, you want to alleviate the unnecessary problems in your life. In some ways, to be very successful, you have to be an extremist for like bursts of time, for short periods. Like, for example, if I worked my ass off building a business on the side of a 9-to-5, I'm going to take a hit on my physical and mental health. Maybe even my spiritual health, my relationships are going to fail, right? And you're going to go like this, right? But eventually, if you catch traction, it's going to hit like this, and you're going to start making some real money, right? And some people never get to that pinnacle of success or hit that switch where they're like, okay, shit, I'm actually seeing something in return for this. Some people don't get that far, right? But with that being said, some people do. And I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to you asking what type of person you are, what you want out of life. There's so many different ways to live life. Material success, money, the grind, the hustle culture, that may not be for you. It may not be for anyone, like, do you know how many people probably told Elon Musk that he was insane, that like he needs, just be realistic, man, like stop dreaming so big, right? Could you imagine being in those, and maybe he didn't talk to anybody, I don't know, but I would imagine those guys get a lot of flack. Like, my view on the world and my view on making money in retirement, I personally see beyond the bullshit of this 401k. Oh yeah, like, let's get single digit returns and just pinch your pennies, Scott, you'll do okay someday. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm saying, do you want to ascribe to that lifestyle and be at the mercy of economic collapse where your dollar is practically worthless? Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. You're losing money every year if you're saving your money and you're not investing it, right? And so my marriage fell apart recently. I was married to my ex-wife for 14 years. We have 2 children. And one of the issues that we always had was that she always had this mentality of, like, be grateful for what you have, live simple, just work all the time, and work hard, and pinch your pennies, and someday we'll have a good big savings. And I'm not saying she's wrong, but she couldn't, like, my lens of my life as, okay, well, I feel, maybe this isn't fact, but I feel like I see things in a different lens that may allow me to leapfrog my way from a monetary sense to make more money, increase my cash flow, and therefore create more opportunities for investments and savings, which would compound, thus increasing my lifestyle, quality of life, home that we're in, neighborhood we're in, the ability to take time off and spend quality time with the family, to get some of those materialistic things deep down inside we all want, and give to charity and take care of other family members when they need it, not be stressed. So, like, my life may not be perfect, but it would be one element of my life that's alleviated. And it's not just a dream. I was taking action to do that. That's why I started learning how to trade. That's why I started dabbing around with trading, and I got into options trading on on accident when I was working for General Dynamics, one of the largest defense contractors in the world. Working for them, great career, great company that took care of me. I took some money, not a lot, but what little I had, I put it in there. I made the mistake multiple times of pulling from my 401k because I was just out of frustration. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't. How do people work for 40 years like this, paycheck to paycheck, and then get to retirement and live in, like, a mobile home if they're lucky, and, like, still be paycheck to paycheck off their measly couple $100,000 that they have saved with single-digit returns from a 401k? I just don't ascribe to that. And my idea and my viewpoint on the world is your life goes like this in terms of success, and then eventually it kind of flatlines, and boom, if you're doing the right things, all of a sudden you're like, damn. I'll give you an example. I had a trade that I did. One of the best trades I ever made this year was with BYND, Beyond Meat, and I had $2,000 in that position. Why? Because I've seen this play out multiple times where I've both won money in these situations and lost it. And you start to recognize patterns. You start to use intuition. Learn how to use your mug to make money. And I said, okay, this stock's been up pre-market like 66 to 88% every single day. The volume's increasing for what the stats are showing, consistent, or in comparison to what historically it's shown for this data. It's got bullish sentiment. It's pre-market like 66 to 88%, and then running up 50 to 100% a day. It was artificially suppressed with short selling. Call it a pump and dump. I don't always play these kind of plays, but I was like, the first thing I check when I see something that's got that much attention is there an options chain? Is the spread really wide? Or do I have an ability to make some money? Does it have enough eyeballs on it? And volume and momentum are what's going to pay with options on the smaller cap stocks, right? Larger, more liquid stocks, blue chip, you want a tighter spread. You'll make money quick. But you're not going to make, like, it's hard to explain, okay? I could go down a rabbit hole, but long story short, I saw opportunity in this, I made money. That was the best return I'd ever had in my career as a trader on a part-time basis, which was almost 5,000% return. I did 0 to 3 days to expiry, out of the money strike calls, and I woke up and my 2,000 turned into almost $30,000 overnight. And I talked to my friend Tony about this, and I said, you know, Tony, it's so fucking crazy to me that I have so many people in my life that have told me, you can't get rich, Scott. Just buckle down. Just do what everybody else is doing, Scott. Just keep punching the clock. Just keep pinching those pennies. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve's printing money. Values of my dollars going down. Every year my property taxes are going up. All my utilities are going up. Groceries are going up. I got kids. I got to take time off the kids. Now I got a divorce and I got child support. I'm like, I got to fucking think of something. I got to figure out something, because there is ways to make money, And I'm not saying don't have a career, don't have a bread and butter, but if you want to alleviate the financial stress in your life so that it's one less thing that you have to focus on that exhumes your energy, then it would be to find intelligent ways to make money, in my opinion, that don't require a lot of overhead, don't require a lot of employees, don't require a lot of time, either by myself or someone that I hire to make sure these clients are happy. Like, I've done this painting business, right? And it's like, it pays good, but you're capped based on the population of your local region. There's always, most people are cool, but there's going to be a couple unhappy people. You're going to have employees that don't stick around. So for trading, it's like, okay, well, what is my bottleneck? I've learned how to somewhat be consistent, which is a hard thing to do. It took me 10 years losing almost anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 of my own 401k and money that I've put in there. But I knew, I'm looking at this as tuition, because everybody else is taking these losses and saying, I can't afford to do that, I'm never doing it again. Me, I said, if I can figure out how to do this even part-time, it could change the trajectory of my life. It could change it, because I could still maintain with this new career change that I have with non-destructive testing and inspections. That's what I enjoy doing. That's what I did before I got laid off in COVID and had to jump back into the trades. But trading is going to be the icing on the cake. So you got your bread and butter for bills, and then you've got, here's my extra spending money. Here's my money for savings, for retirement, for vacations, for reinvestments in trading, for extra things that I want, for things for my kids, right? So everybody lives their life differently, but what's really difficult is when you're trying to do something that you don't know a whole lot of people do themselves. Like, when I talk to people, intelligent, wealthy people, a lot of them are like, just play the long-term game, invest. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's how you build true wealth. But what I'm trying to do is increase my cash flow on a short to midterm basis, because I know if I can increase my cash flow short to midterm, not only does it increase my quality of life and reduce my stress in younger years of my life, which would probably make me live longer, but once you can figure that out and it's one less stress alleviated, now you have more cash flow, which means I can allocate that money into other things. So this painting business that I ran this year with the divorce, I had people that didn't pay me on time. They would ask for deposit money back. They were very unsympathetic to the fact that I was going through divorce. And in this state that we're in, I don't have any family here. I have family that supported me, very much so, and I love them, and they'll always be there for me. But we moved out of state, so it's me and my ex-wife here co-parenting these kids. And, you know, a lot of times I was making money trading, but I was wiring that money in to my checking account to pay bills, to pay child support. And, you know, we might have a week of rain. Well, if I didn't have that trading going on, that would have been a week unpaid, right? And you have entrepreneurship, it's a kill what you eat type game. So the reason I'm putting this video together is to let people know that if you feel like you've hit rock bottom, which, you know, I feel like I've hit, right? I took care of a mother that stayed home for 10 years, one income as a stay-at-home mom. I made 6-digit figures. I went from working for an employer to starting my own painting business, grassroots, from the fucking ground up, and I was making over $100,000 a year. But for a family of 4, it's not that much. And I made the mistake of getting myself into too much debt. And then there's seasonality with winter, and she didn't go back to work. She didn't want to go back to work. She took a couple part-time jobs like cleaning Airbnbs and stuff, but she didn't really want to do that. And that's fine, because we initially agreed for her to stay home, but this is back to our realities. My reality was, I see the writing on the wall. We're kicking the can down the road. We have too many debts. The interest rates have risen on the houses, on residential houses. I can't sell my house. My mortgage is pushing it. I'm trying to work as best as I can for you, Ashley, but like, I can't sustain that. I can't do this for another 10 years and wake up in my 40s, like mid to late 40s, basically saying, fuck, we have nothing set aside because I've been paycheck to paycheck for this long. And then imagine if she left me then. Imagine if she left me when I'm like 47. That would be, it's almost better now that it's happened. I'm 37 and it's still a setback, but I would rather have it now than like in my 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, when all of a sudden you've got all these assets and it's like now they're taking half of that. So thankfully I was making good money, but it was still paycheck to paycheck because of the debts that I got myself into and being one income. So if there's anything you guys can learn from this, if you're younger and I'm not saying don't marry someone, because there's great women out there, right? I met a recent chick that is just totally chill, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but for right now we get along. It just seems natural. So, and prior to that, my ex-wife, it's like just talking to her, the sound of her voice would raise my blood pressure. And I would get in these funks where if I'm pissed off, well, I just go drink and put money in slots, because I'm like, well, she's telling me she doesn't want me to put money in my brokerage account to make extra money. I know I'm intelligent enough to do that, which is going to let me make money. Like I can be trading on a lunch break. I can swing trade during the week around my painting. Like this was a way to make extra money, but she was so fixated on the fact that I was losing money and that it was risky, that made her very unstable. And like she just emotionally, like just like neurotic, with like yelling and screaming, and it's like, Jesus. So if there's anything you guys can learn from this, if you're with a woman or a partner, and you need to be on the same page in terms of what your vision is, because some people are very conservative. They want to save all their money. They want to pinch their pennies, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying you can't be successful doing that. I'm just saying that you need to figure out what your plan is and who you want to align with. Like for me, I know that I'm intelligent enough to increase my income now. And my setback is I need more capital to put into my brokerage account, and I've already been consistently profitable. But in my situation, I need consistent income. This is thus why I'm going back to my old job with traveling. It's not the best pay, but I enjoy the work. I like the guy that runs the company. I get along with some of the people he hired. Like, it's all in all, it's a win. And that will be my bread and butter. That will be consistency when I'm home from travel. I can take some side jobs painting. I can trade on the side. So I think this will be a good balance to know that when I'm home for a week off, I can focus strictly on trading or strictly on painting or strictly on my kids. And when I'm traveling, I'm focused on work. So in a nutshell, life can throw you curveballs. You never know what's around the corner. Nobody suspected, COVID to happen. I didn't suspect a divorce. But you just have to keep moving forward and just realize that if you feel like you're at rock bottom, there's always, the best thing about rock bottom is the future's ahead, right? It's only up from there. We all have unique things, I think, that we can offer this world. So never feel like you're worthless or useless. If you're depressed or down or feel like you fucked up in so many different ways, I think it's important to remember that there's maybe some people didn't see you that way, or your ex-spouse, but there's another person out there that will. And deep down inside who you are as a person. If you need to change, if you've been, then that's up to you, and God and spirituality and, taking a look in the mirror. But outside of that, there's also women out there that, you could be with one woman that thinks you are an absolute piece of human garbage, and then meet another woman that says, "Are you serious? I can't believe that you accomplished all these things. I can't believe you shouldered that mental and physical pain. I can't believe that you built a business from the ground up and made 6 digits and supported a family of 4 on your own at 37 now for almost 10 years. So between 27 and 37, you paid all of the bills and dealt with a seasonal business and dealt with the ebbs and flow and the times you had nothing in your account and the times where you're going through fights because of the stress. Like, most people can't handle that. So just remember that there's numerous things you can do in life. You're going to be at times feeling like you're up here. You're going to be at times feeling down like you're down here. It's natural. Nobody is flatline, especially success from a monetary and financial standpoint. It goes like this. It is a mind fuck, and it will really fuck with you. and it will make you stronger. But just remember, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. There's always somebody out there that will see your vision. But if you feel like an outcast, if people are making you feel like you're crazy, like everybody thinks you're crazy, you know, my ex always says that. You're even your friends and your family think you're crazy. And I joke with her, I say, I am fucking crazy because I know I'm going to make it, right? I don't look at life in the same fucking lens that you do. And she'll always be a great mother to my kids. But at the end of the day, we'll see, man. We'll see. But sometimes you have to just internalize that shit and use it as motivation and fuel to get to the other side of that playing field. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I love you all. Happy 2026. Let's get it.